Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to our hadith class. We are doing the kitab known as Riyaadhus Saaliheen of Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah, and we are still busy with the chapter regarding the many different ways of doing good deeds. We are starting tonight from the 17th hadith of that chapter. So let us begin. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. So we're reading here hadith number 133, السابع عشرة, the 17th hadith. عنه رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا مرض العبد أو سافر كتب له مثل ما كان يعمل مقيما صحيحا. رواه البخاري. 17th hadith reported by Hazrat Abu Huraira, Hazrat Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiyallahu anhu, who said that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, إذا مرض العبد, if a person becomes sick, أو سافر, or he happens to travel, كتب له مثل ما كان يعمل مقيما صحيحا, then it gets continuously written down in his book of deeds, those deeds that he used to do when he was at home and healthy. Now this is referring to something, a deed that you are continuous upon, not something that you do now and then. So if, for example, let's put it this way, maybe you are in the habit of fasting every Monday and every Thursday, or you happen to be in the habit of performing a lot of Qiyamul Layl, you know, whatever maybe it's your habit and you read 5 paras of the Quran in the morning, for example. These are your every single day habit, these nafil a'mal that you are doing. Now one day you get sick, and it's on account of your sickness that you are unable to do these things. So maybe you are used to performing 20 raka'at Qiyamul Layl, but now because you are sick in bed, you're in and out of consciousness, even so sick you are, or maybe you're not even that bad, but you are sapped of strength, you have difficulty breathing, your body has got pains, things of this sort. So your illness holds you back from doing that deed. Then Allah writes it down. Now, whether it was your salah, whether it was your recitation of the Quran, because now, for example, you are sick, so your throat is scratchy, your eyes are, your eyes are burning, you can't see and focus properly, whatever your illness may be, Allah writes it down in your book of deeds as if you had spent that night in salah, as if you had read that 5 paras you usually did, etc., etc. You were in the habit of fasting, Allah writes it down that you had fasted. Because if you were not sick, you would have fasted. So it refers to a'mal of that nature. Like I say, not the type that you do now and then. So maybe you don't make tahajjud every day. You do it now and then. That won't be written down for you. This refers to every single day, without fail type a'mal. Those are the ones. Or safara. Now you are on a journey. Now, whether it be safar is of different types, your journeys. Now your journey can be for the sake of deen. So you're traveling, for example, to another land to go and study, to go and meet, for example, a particular alim, to go for hajj or for umrah, the different reasons, shari'i type reasons. Or for example, you are going to visit a family member. Maybe your wife is from another town, so you are going to go and take her to visit her parents, things of that sort. All of these things also fall in under good deeds as well. It's a different story. You plan on seeing Monte Carlo, so you want to go there, or Las Vegas, and you want to go and take part, play the one-armed bandits and all that sort of stuff. So you are going out with a wrong intention. In this type of situation, your journey is a sin, and you will not have the good deeds written for you, because okay, let me put it this way. If you are the type that you are doing a nafil action each and every single day of your life in this manner, you would not be drawn towards such things, because inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar, that the salah itself will be a shield to protect you from evil and sin. So very unlikely you're going to find a person who's Paban on his salah, always performing his salah, and now all of a sudden he feels the rush to run off to a casino. Not going to happen. But the point I was bringing up is a person who goes to travel now for sun. You plan to go to a particular town, or whatever the case may be, because maybe there's some woman over there and you want to go and commit zina, things of that sort. Then you can't expect that Allah must still write down your good deeds for you when you are going out on your way to disobey Allah. But it's speaking in a normal situation where you are traveling for a permissible reason. Maybe you just want to take a holiday. So, it's getting a bit much. You want to get away. You want to be in seclusion. You want to go and see the sea, or, different things of the sort. Permissible. Obviously, we're not talking about going to a beach where everybody's laying there half dressed or even less than that. We're not talking about such situations. So if you do such thing, you in the habit of doing good deeds, and then for some reason or the other, like this sickness or traveling, you are unable to do those deeds, Allah will still continuously write those deeds in your book of deeds. So now this continues. It doesn't just end there. It's not a one-off thing. So you are in the habit of fasting, for example, every Monday and Thursday, but now you were hit with such a debilitating chronic illness that you were told you can't fast again because every few hours you got to take medication. Now for the rest of your life, maybe you live for another 25 years in this state. Then every single day of those 25 years, Allah will have it continuously written that you did that salah and you fasted, etc., etc., etc. It's not going to be, okay, just once of thing and then it's get fixed. No, as long as it lasts, and had that illness or that problem not been there, you would have been doing those deeds. Such deeds, Allah will continue to write for you. So it shows the great generosity of Allah, that even though you are not doing the deed, you would like to do it, but due to illness or whatever you don't do it, Allah still write it down as if you had done it. Rawahul Bukhari. Imam Bukhari rahimahullah reports this hadith. Next hadith 134, الثامنة عشرة, in 18th hadith, عن جابر بن جابر رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كل معروف صدقة. رواه البخاري ورواه مسلم من رواية حذيفة رضي الله عنه. هذا جابر بن عبد الله رضي الله عنه narrates that Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم said كل معروف صدقة. I would tell you, if you have the time, in fact, you do have the time. It's not a difficult thing. Kullu ma'rufin sadaqah. 3 words. Try and memorize this hadith. Memorizing a hadith is something which is rewarding, and Allah will reward you for it. It doesn't matter what the topic of the hadith is, but if you memorize the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah will reward you for it. And that is why, for this particular reason, ulama were always in the habit of writing books of 40 ahadith. But you do not necessarily have to memorize the largest ahadith, but you can take a hadith like this: kullu ma'rufin sadaqah. You memorize it, and it will benefit you. There's nothing to be lost, only things to be benefited. So maybe I don't think we've come across a shorter hadith than this before. So if you can just memorize just this one, kullu ma'rufin sadaqah, then that would be a good enough deed for the day. Like man salla al-bardaini dakhala al-jannah, like we did last week, whoever performed the 2 cold salahs, the Fajr and Asr, he will enter Jannah. You do little ahadith of this sort, it all will be a means of great benefit for you. So Imam Bukhari rahimahullah reports this hadith. Imam Muslim reports it as well, but he reported from Hazrat Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman radiyallahu anhu. But in any case, so kullu ma'rufin sadaqah. Every good deed is sadaqah. Now, there's no need to spend too much time on explaining this hadith, because it's very clear, straightforward, that every single good deed that you do is sadaqah. A lot of the time we tend to think sadaqah to only be wealth. So, give some sadaqah, go take a 5 rand out and give it, or a 10 rand or a 50 rand, or whatever the case may be. People tend to think that as being the only sadaqah. But as you could see from many previous ahadith, smiling at your Muslim brother is sadaqah, the different things, all removing a harmful thing from the road was sadaqah, different things of that nature. So now you come to know that any and every good deed that you do is also a means of sadaqah. Now, whether it is of benefit to mankind or it's benefit only to yourself, both of these things will be sadaqah too. Because as you remember, with the hadith of the 360 joints, for example, the sadaqah that you have to offer for them, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, they were counted as the different sadaqat that the person do. So your tasbih benefits you only. You do it for the sake of Allah. It's not something that helps the next person out there, but it is a sadaqah. So that is something which applies to you privately. But removing the harmful thing from the road is something that doesn't benefit. It's for the sake of Allah, but it's not something that you are doing like salah or recitation of Quran, etc. It's something that you do so that people and animals and creatures can benefit. So for that is sadaqah, which helps others, and that which helps yourself, that too is sadaqah. So kullu ma'rufin sadaqah, every good deed is sadaqah. Moving on to the next hadith, التاسع عشرة, the 19th hadith. عنه رضي الله عنه, also from other Jabir رضي الله عنه, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما من مسلم يغرس غرسا إلا كان ما أكل منه له صدقة. Other Jabir رضي الله عنه said that Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم said that there is no Muslim يغرس غرسا, means he plants a tree, إلا كان ما أكل منه له صدقة. Now the tree grows and it reaches its full capacity and it starts to give fruit. Then ma ukila minhu lahu sadaqah. The fruit which is eaten from the tree is a means of sadaqah for him. وَمَا سُرِقَ مِنْهُ لَهُ صَدَقَةٌ. What is stolen from the tree, that too is sadaqah. وَلَا يَزْرَؤُهُ أَحَدٌ إِلَّا كَانَ لَهُ صَدَقَةٌ. Rawahu Muslim. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam goes further to say, wala yazra'uhu. Yazra'uhu literally means, like to anything to detract, or at least to subtract from the tree. So what the hadith tells you here is that if you have done something like plant a tree, and planting a tree is a great means of sadaqah jariyah. That is weird. I just got a message to say that we got only 10 minutes left, and we barely started a couple of minutes ago, 12 minutes only. So looks like we're going to have a less than 20-minute class tonight. But anyway, so be it. So I was mentioning that planting a tree is a great means of sadaqah jariyah. Many times you'll plant a tree and you'll die before you'll see that tree come to fruition. So yet it was a command of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's something which is greatly emphasized, the planting of trees, which, like I say, it is a means of sadaqah jariyah. The tree, how many times around don't you look and you see trees that are, according to the how they work the ages of the tree because of the wideness of the trunk and everything, and they'll say that this tree is 400 years old, etc. So a tree stands for a very long time. The shade that it gives is a means of sadaqah. The plant, the fruit that grows from it is a means of sadaqah. Whether it gives fruit or not, it doesn't change the fact that it is sadaqah. So if you plant a tree that just gives shade, that is sadaqah. A tree and a bird can put a nest up in it, it is sadaqah. So, it's a very fast thing where lots of good deeds are accounted from it. So if it gives fruit and people or animals eat from the fruit, it is a means of sadaqah. And if somebody comes and they steal for example, somebody comes and they pluck all your apples off your tree, and then they go and, for example, they sell the apples. The fact that they stole the apples from the tree doesn't change the fact that you did this for the sake of Allah, and Allah still rewards you despite the fact that someone came and stole it. So that's how beneficial it is. And then وَلَا يَزْرَؤُهُ أَحَدٌ. Nobody subtracts anything from it. So this part of the hadith also tells you that, for example, maybe you have people and they come and they cut a piece of a branch off because he wants to go and plant and have another one grow maybe by him, or whatever the case may be. Or somebody even just pulls the leaves or the fruit off and throws it on the floor because he's evil. Even then, Allah will still continuously reward you because their actions, they are responsible for that. Your action is the planting of that tree. So whenever something moves from that tree, that leaf which gets taken off, Allah rewards you because that tree was your initiative to plant. So where the people are doing wrong to themselves by stealing or throwing it down, it is still a means of reward for you. They will answer for their deed and you will be rewarded for your deed. The hadith, he goes further. إِلَّا كَانَ لَهُ صَدَقَةٌ. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said all of this will be a means of sadaqah for the person. Imam Muslim rahimahullah reports that hadith. وفي رواية له فلا يغرس المسلم غرسا فيأكل منه إنسان ولا دابة ولا طير إلا كان له صدقة إلى يوم القيامة. In another narration, the hadith mentions from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, so no Muslim plants a tree. فَيَأْكُلُ مِنْهُ إِنسَانٌ. So a human being eats from it. Wala dabba, no an animal or a creature. Creature would be the better word here, because dabba can refer to, for example, you've got a bush with berries, and now a goat comes along, or a wildebeest, some kudu or something that comes along, and it eats the berries or whatever it is on that bush. That will be sadaqah for you. Dabba also can refer to an ant or a worm. So, for example, you've got a plum tree and a plum falls down, it lays there on the floor, and the ants come and the worms come and they eat of it. That too will be sadaqah for you. Wala tayrun, no a bird. So the birds come and they eat it while it's still on the tree. Sometimes it fall off and they eat it on the floor, but the thing is that birds also eat the fruit. So whether it's a human being or an animal, creature, whatever, eating from it, Allah rewards you on account of it. But sadaqatan ila yawmil qiyamah. It is a means of sadaqah for you until the day of qiyamah. This is the benefit of the sadaqah jariyah that comes about with a tree. So, you know, you think nothing about it. Sometimes you find occasions, different organizations, and they are doing a planting of trees, like was being done in Afghanistan not too long ago, last year sometime, could have been the year before. But anyway, maybe you even have it in your in your town, and it's obviously you must plant a tree that is not going to be, you plant it there and tomorrow someone come and digs it out and throws it away. But we're talking about that now. You plant a tree, like I said, you'll long be dead before that tree reaches its full capacity. Some trees grow fast, others grow slow. But you put a tree, maybe you dead and long, people have even forgotten about you, and that tree continues to give a shade. How many times you see those massive palm trees? How long did it take to grow to that length? So the people who planted them are dead and buried, but the rewards of those things are probably still reaching, or at least I should say, are still reaching them. You may not even know their names, but Allah knows them and Allah rewards them. So, you know, it means a sadaqah for you until the day of Qiyamah by doing a thing of the sort. وفي رواية له لا يغرس مسلم غرسا ولا يزرع زرعا فيأكل منه إنسان ولا دابة ولا شيء إلا كانت له صدقة. This will be our last hadith for tonight. Another narration of the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, لا يغرس المسلم غرسا. No Muslim plants a tree. ولا يزرع زرعا. No, you plant a plant. So a plant here, for example, would refer to herbs. You know, you plant dhania, you plant chilies, whatever the type of thing is, or you're planting spinach or lettuce or cucumber or cabbage, whatever the case may be. فَيَأْكُلُ مِنْهُ إِنسان, and a human being eats from it. وَلَا دَابَّة, or some animal, or, like I say, animal or insect, creature type thing. وَلَا شَيْءٌ, no anything, meaning no, even if an alien were to come and eat from it, إِلَّا كَانَتْ لَهُ صَدَقَةٌ, but that it will be a means of reward for you. So even if you have like I said, you were to get some dinosaur or an alien or a robot even, and it took the fruit of your tree and it ate it, Allah would reward you regardless of what it is that came and took benefit from that tree. So that was the end of the 19th hadith, and it is where we will stop for tonight, inshallah ta'ala. Unfortunately, we never got a chance to finish this chapter. This chapter still got a number of ahadith. So we'll stop on this point here after having completed 135 ahadith of the kitab. It's our 50th class of Riyaadhus Saaliheen, and we'll stop on this point here until after Eid, inshallah ta'ala. Like I said yesterday, that was our last tafsir class before our holidays. This is our last hadith class before the holidays. So we won't have classes next week. Classes will now only start again after Eid, at the time when I will update everyone, inshallah. But for that being that, we end on this point for tonight, inshallah ta'ala. Until we meet again, inshallah. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد. سبحان الله وبحمده. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك. نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت. نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.